Hi guys, today I'm going to be talking about what you will need to get if you're thinking about getting a guinea pig. And I would recommend having everything you need all set up ready before you bring a new guinea pig home. And I'm going to talk about all the things you'll need. I'm sorry to say that probably the first thing you're going to have to think about when getting a guinea pig is money, because you will have quite a lot of costs. Most of them will probably be one-off costs, like the cage and hidey houses and things which don't need to be changed very often. Also water bottles, food dishes, those sorts of things. But you will also have weekly costs, like veggies and food and that sort of thing. So that's all things that need to be considered. You will also need to keep some money aside for vet bills, just in case there's anything wrong with your guinea pigs and you need to rush them to the vets. You will need some money set back, so if anything needs to be done or they need some medicine, then you've got enough money to be able to make them healthy again. The main thing, and probably the most expensive thing you're going to need, is obviously a cage. And I'm going to talk about cages for 2 guinea pigs, because I don't think guinea pigs should be kept alone, because they're sociable animals and no matter how much you play with them, you don't speak the same language, so I think all guinea pigs should have a friend. So the minimum cage size for 2 guinea pigs is 7.5 square foot, and that's 2 by 4 in grids. As you can see, I've got a 3 by 3. And especially if you've got boys, you will need a bit more space and you will need 2 of everything, because boys can get more dominant and they like showing off and having their individual houses. So you will need 2 water bottles as well in case they fight, just so they can still have access to water. So I've got 2 of everything that I can, just to try and minimise the fighting. And for a CNC cage, you can get them relatively cheaply. I bought 20 of these grids for £30. And the other part of the C is coroplast or corex. So it's cubes and coroplast, and that is a corrugated plastic which I've got under there. I just didn't buy enough that I had enough to go up the sides. So I've still got it underneath to make it waterproof and stop it going through onto my carpet. But I didn't have enough to go up the sides, and I will be getting some more at some point, but they seem really fine with it and there's no way they're going to escape. It just means I can bend it easier and it's not quite as rigid, but it's not going to fall down or anything. So I definitely recommend a CNC cage, because this was probably about £35 altogether or something like that. Whereas these cages, for each one, they're about £45, and this is 2 joined together. So it does work out a lot more expensive doing it this way. You can of course get shop bought cages, but the only ones I've found that could be suitable for more than 1 guinea pig, as they do tend to be quite small, is this one, which is the Midwest Guinea Habitat. And as you can see, they're expandable, so I've got 2. I've got one going down here and one going down there. And one section on its own wouldn't really be suitable for 2 guinea pigs, maybe just as a temporary thing while they were young, but guinea pigs do need a lot of space, especially as I've got boys, so they do tend to get more territorial and things, so they do need a bigger cage. So this is the ones I've got for Gizmo and Jafar, and Snoopy and Ollie are down there. But I would also recommend having a spare cage at the ready in case one of them becomes sick and you have to... Oh, some popcorning going on over there. In case one of them becomes sick and you have to quarantine them, or if they fall out and they attack each other and you have to separate them. So I would recommend having a spare cage. So I've got one that I keep down there so I can just put it up quickly if I need to. But I think that's it for cages. The next thing you're going to need for owning guinea pigs is time. And I put this in here because you do need a lot of time for owning guinea pigs. You need to be cleaning them out, spot cleaning them every day, spending time with them, giving them floor time in their playpen, giving them lap time, just getting them out every day and interacting with them, giving them a cuddle and things like that. And yeah, no matter how big their cage is, they do need floor time. And also lap time is a really good way of bonding with your guinea pigs, and you can feed them some veggies and they can really learn to trust you. So they are quite time consuming pets, but they're so cute, it's definitely worth it. Oh, unless they're Snoopy and then they're just really, really lazy. I'm also just going to talk quickly a bit about food, and I did have some wag muesli to show you as well, but I've already filmed this part and my camera deleted it and I'd already chucked out the wag because I was going to throw it away anyway, because it had only been kept in the cupboard as a spare food and it's been there for quite a while and I'm never going to use it, and it's a bit old to donate or anything, a half-eaten bag of wag. So I did throw it out and now I've got to refilm it, so I don't have that to show you. But I was going to talk about the difference between pellets and muesli. And guinea pigs are selective eaters, which means they will pick out their favourite bits. And the problem with muesli is if they're picking out bits and leaving bits, it means they're not getting all the requirements they need in their diet. And also some of the mueslis do have seeds and things in, and some of the coloured bits do have artificial colourings, and you want to avoid that really because it's not very healthy for your guinea pig. So I would definitely recommend a sort of nugget. I've used Pets at Home nuggets, which are fine, but now I'm using Burgess XL, which is veterinary recommended. I use a mixture of the one with mint and the one with blackcurrant and oregano because they are exactly the same other than the mint and the oregano, so they're fine to mix together, but generally I wouldn't recommend mixing different foods together for guinea pigs. I do for my hamsters, but that's because they've got totally different dietary requirements, but for guinea pigs they should have a type of nugget that's all nutritionally balanced. So that is what I use, and I will show you. That's what it looks like. Those bigger bits up there are the ones with mint, and those little bits there are the ones with blackcurrant and oregano. But that's what they look like. They look plain and boring, and I know there's a lot more fun looking foods with loads of different colours and things in, but they're probably not going to be as good for your guinea pig. This is another brand that my guinea pigs personally don't like, but this is a very good make. It's by Supreme Science and it is fibre first. I'll show you what it looks like inside. And it's a new type of guinea pig food, which is again made specifically for their dietary requirements, and it is very good. Mine don't like it, but that doesn't mean that yours won't, so you could always give that a try, although that is a bit more expensive than nuggets. So there we go. The next thing you're going to need is something to put the food in. It doesn't have to be a special pet bowl. I'm sure you've got lots of suitable bowls around your house. I would recommend a ceramic one, but here are a couple that I've got over the years. So this one is a plastic one, and it's very easily tipped over, which is a problem with plastic bowls, especially once your pigs get a bit bigger like Snoopy, and they are very heavy, so that one would be tipped over in no time. And the only problem with that is you can't monitor very well how much they're eating because you don't know how much of it's just all over the floor. and also then they might be eating it off the floor and they might have weed on it or something, so it's not very nice if it is all over their floor. So I'd recommend finding a bowl which keeps all their pellets in. So here's a ceramic one, but this one is quite easily tipped over, but it's in the cute shape of a carrot. And this is a bowl I'd recommend because it's more difficult to tip over, so you'd be looking for a heavy ceramic bowl, but like I said, that's really your choice. A bowl isn't very important, but yeah. Aww. The next thing you're going to need is fresh water. Your guinea pigs should have fresh water every day, because if their water has been left in their cage for a week, then it won't taste very nice and they probably won't drink it. So you need to encourage your guinea pigs to drink loads to keep them healthy, and by changing their water bottles every day. So that's another time consideration if you're thinking about getting guinea pigs. You will need to change their water bottles every day, and it'll probably take, you might have to get up a bit earlier to clean their water bottles before you have to go to work or school or whatever, so that needs to be taken into consideration. And the next thing is a bottle to keep it in. Here's an example of a plastic one. This is a Fairplast bottle, and I wouldn't recommend it at all because it does leak everywhere, which doesn't matter so much if you're using bedding, but I am on fleece, so it does tend to... Oh, they're having a bit of a squabble. And if the bottles do drip loads, it just tends to be a bit of a wet, mucky puddle underneath, so it's better if you can find a water bottle that doesn't leak. And the ones that I find to be the best for not leaking are this Super Pet one, and these are glass, and the Living World one. And they've both got chew-proof nozzles here, and they are made of glass, but they are very strong, and I've never heard of any breaking and injuring a pet, so I'm quite happy to use glass ones. And this one's got a little carrot floating in, and that one's got a little duck, so it shows you the water levels so you can see it easier from a distance, and I just think that's really, really sweet. And with them you'll probably need a bottle brush, and this is for cleaning them out, just so you can get clean in the inside so it doesn't get all manky. And those should be cleaned out frequently as well to stop algae and things growing on the inside, because that wouldn't be very nice. Another thing that guinea pigs need is fresh vegetables every single day. This is really important because guinea pigs' bodies can't... they can smell it. Because guinea pigs' bodies can't make their own vitamin C, the same as us, so we have to provide them that in the form of fresh vegetables. I do also give them a little bit of fruit, but I use that as a treat. And this is just an example. I do have a video on it, but it's quite old and rubbishy, so I'm probably going to do a new one soon. But you can always have a look on the internet. There's some very good sources which can tell you what fruits and vegetables are safe for your guinea pigs. But here I've just got some broccoli, some cucumber, some carrots, and a little bit of lettuce. Not iceberg though. And I am running a bit low on vegetables. I need to go shopping tomorrow. So they normally have a lot more leafy things and a lot less cucumber, because cucumber in large amounts can give them diarrhoea, which isn't very nice. So they don't normally have that much cucumber. But I'm running a bit low. So vegetables are really, really, really important, and they should have a cup of vegetables a day per guinea pig. So there we go. The next thing you'll need is an assortment of chews and toys and things. And this is really, really important because guinea pigs' teeth are constantly growing, so they do need something to chew on to try and keep their teeth short. And if you don't provide them with enough chews, their teeth will become overgrown, and that will result in a nasty trip to the vets, and it'll probably be quite expensive for you and stressful for your guinea pigs, so Please provide loads and loads of wooden chews and exciting things to chew on. As you can see, you can also use tunnels which double up as chews. So wooden tunnels and things are great because it's also fun for them. They can run through and they can also have a chew. I've also got some balls and things, and these are a nice size for them to get their teeth round and chew on. Got some more chews. You can get some hanging chews. You can get some dangly things on their cage, which all look really pretty and it'll encourage them to nibble. This is also can be helped by if you have loads and loads of chews. Every time you clean them out or when you want to switch up their cage, if you put in some new ones or some different ones that they haven't played with for a while, then this will keep them interested and they'll probably give it a little nibble to find out what it is, and it will keep them interested. And there's loads and loads of different types of chews. There's loofah here, got some wood, some sort of, I don't know what that is, but that sort of thing. These also don't have to cost anything. Toilet roll tubes can make great things for them to chew on, and you can do loads of different things with toilet roll tubes to make them more interesting for them. You can stuff them with hay, and if you cut loads of slits up the side, it makes them more interesting for them to chew. So you don't have to spend lots of money. You can also just get some bits of wood, but you do have to make sure that these are safe for guinea pigs to eat, because there are only certain woods which guinea pigs can eat. Also mineral chews are really good. And so yeah, I've got quite a lot here so I can swap them in when I change their cage around to keep them chewing, and that is really, really important part of owning a guinea pig. I would also recommend some tunnels for your guinea pigs to play in. Here's a few examples. This is a hyacinth tunnel, which is actually too small for my guinea pigs to get through now, but they still like having a nibble on it, and it does help keep their teeth down. So I would recommend something like that. The only problem is if your guinea pigs poo and wee on the inside, then you can't clean it. But Gizmo and Jafar have been pretty good with that. These are some fiddlesticks, which can be bent into any shape, and I've got mine in the shape of a tunnel. And like before, the guinea pigs can go under and play in it. It makes it a bit more natural for them, and also they can give it a nibble and it helps keep their teeth down. And you can also get loads of cool fleecy tunnels, and you can get loads and loads of different designs. And like the fleece as a bedding, this can be thrown in the wash if your guinea pigs make a bit of a mess. And I think I have some of the messiest guinea pigs in the world, so these are really handy, and I would recommend having a spare as well while one's in the wash. There's a couple of examples of tunnels that you can get. Here's a couple more tunnels in Snoopy and Ollie's cage. They've got the tropical fiddlesticks, which I love. Oh, you had your nap, which they love chewing on. And this is a Wilkinson's chew tube. And I know you can get them in loads of other places, but Wilkinson's is the cheapest I found. And they are really good for them to chew. Oh, someone's chattering their teeth. They are really good for them to chew, but the only issue I've had is my guinea pigs tend to wee inside because they're really messy, and that means I have to chuck it out and get a new one, which is a bit of a pain. So I prefer the ones with no bottom, but I got them another one the other day, so I thought I'd put it in there. The next thing you'll need is a hidey house or a pigloo or something like that for your guinea pigs to hide in. Because guinea pigs are prey species, it's really, really important that they have somewhere dark and where they can feel safe. So these are just the Pets at Home igloo thing. Oh, the Pets at Home igloo things. And Super Pet do some really cool igloos, and every pet shop will sell some sort of hidey house. There are different types. You can get plastic ones like these, you can get fleecy items like these, and also I've got a fleecy house here, and these are all great because you can wash them. Because my guinea pigs are really messy and they are boys, so they tend to scent mark their territory, so they will spray their wee on the inside of the house, which is horrible. But with plastic ones it's great because I can just wipe them off, and also with these fleecy ones they can go in the wash, so that is really useful. I used to have wooden houses, which are great because your guinea pigs can also chew them, but it is a bit of a problem if they do mess all over the sides, then you can't clean them very easily, and that was why I had to chuck mine away in the end, because they got a bit smelly and gross and I couldn't really wash them. So that's why I've changed my hidey houses to plastic and fleecy ones. But wooden houses are great because again it gives your guinea pigs an opportunity to chew and keep their teeth down, but this is what I've opted for. Here's an example of a few more fleecy items. The only problem with fleecy items is you can only really use them when you're using fleece as a bedding, because if you're using shavings or something like that, they will get stuck to the fleece and probably mess up your washing machine, and also it doesn't come off very easy and it ruins the fleece items, which is a bit of a shame, and was probably the main reason why I put my guinea pigs on fleece, so I could use these comfy items, because guinea pigs do love being comfortable, as Snoopy is showing us. They do love being comfy, so I definitely recommend some beds and things, but I would say don't use these instead of houses, because it's only when they're really confident that they're able to sleep out in the open. And it's taken a long time to get Snoopy to this place because we rescued him and he was very skittish when we first got him, and he's only recently just started sleeping outside, which is lovely. But when guinea pigs are really scared, they will need somewhere to hide and feel safe, and that won't provide much protection, so they wouldn't feel very safe in there. But here are some fleecy items that you can have. This is a tunnel by Paws Up. This is a piggy pocket by Piggy Pig Pigs, and also a hidey house by Squeak Dreams. So there's some of the brands of fleecy items that I've got, but you can always have a go at making your own. And yeah, the pigs seem to really appreciate it. You will also need some bedding. I would recommend staying away from wood shavings because pine and cedar are known to be really bad for small animals' respiratory systems, and aspen bedding I think is fine, but I generally avoid all shavings just in case. And here's a couple I was recommended. This is Carefresh Colours, which I use in my hamsters' hidey houses. This is really good bedding, it's got good odour control. The only issue is that it is quite expensive. So like I said, I use it in my hamsters' hidey houses, but I could never use it as a guinea pig bedding because it would be far too expensive to fill their cages. This is All Boys, which is a hemp bedding. It looks quite spiky, but it is quite soft, and it's got quite good odour control. It's probably about the same as shavings, but it is dust extracted, so it's not bad for the respiratory systems. Now I can buy this in huge bags for £13, so that is really good, but it would still be too expensive to fill all of the guinea pigs' cages because they do have quite big cages, so it would be very expensive to fill. So I do use this for my bunnies' litter boxes though, and their hutch if I put them out in the summer, and also I use it for my hamsters. I have used it for the guinea pigs, but like I said, I went through too much and it got too expensive, so I now use layers of fleece and blankets and also puppy pads underneath to catch any extra wee that soaks through. So that's what I use, but Generally it's up to you. I would recommend doing some research though, because some beddings are known to cause problems, and you want to be sure what you're using is safe for your pets. But that's just what I use. Everyone's got their own opinions on it, and do your research first is what I would recommend. I do use fleece because it is a lot cheaper, it's reusable, and that's pretty much it. You can get it in nice patterns and things, and you can also use nice comfy houses, because if you use like this, if you use bedding with these, it will stick on the inside, and then when you go to wash them it will clog up your washing machine, and I did that and I regretted it. So I now use fleece. The only problems with fleece is that hay does stick to it, and like I said, it clogs up the washing machine, which is a bit of a pain, but there are different ways of getting around this, like using litter trays to catch any excess hay. But generally I'd recommend fleece if you're looking for a cheap, affordable bedding, but you do need to change it probably twice a week and spot clean it every day, which can be quite time consuming. So if you want something that you can spot clean every couple of days and clean out not so often, I would recommend something like this, but it will be more expensive, especially if you're filling up a big cage. I just thought I'd show you quickly. This is the bag of washing that I do about twice a week, and it's quite a big bag, so if you're going to use fleece as a bedding, this is what you can expect. And it also depends on how big your cages are, but my cages are about average size, and that's how much washing I use, so that's something you want to consider if you're using fleece. Now I'm going to talk about hay. Now hay is really important in a guinea pig's diet. It helps keep their digestive system going, and hay should make up 80% of their diet, so it's really important. And I use a mixture of dandelion and marigold herbage by Burgess XL and some meadow hay. It is recommended that guinea pigs under 6 months should have alfalfa hay, and guinea pigs over 6 months should have timothy hay. But timothy hay is pretty expensive in the UK, and it's also quite hard to get, and my guinea pigs they're not really that bothered about it. So I think it's mainly about finding what your guinea pig likes, because they are meant to eat a lot of hay, so there's no point buying the best hay and them not eating it. So I think it's trial and error really until you find a hay that all of your guinea pigs like. And this is actually my guinea pig's favourite. It's called Meadow Hay. I'm not sure what the brand is. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but I think you can get it in most pet shops, and it's really nice smelling and it looks really fresh. It's just really nice. The only thing with this hay is you do have to check through what you give them, because it does come straight from the fields, so you need to check that there aren't any stones in and things like that. But I tend to do that anyway, just because I want to know what my guinea pigs are eating. But that's their favourite, and I do mix it with a bit of that, but that's quite expensive. So, and to go with your hay you'll need some sort of hay ball, and I've got 2 in with these boys, and boom! In Gizmo and Jafar's I've got a hay rack, and the only issue with hay racks is the hay tends to fall all out the other side, so I just cable tied a square of this on to try and stop the hay falling through, and it has stopped most of it. And another issue with finding places to put hay is that if you use fleece bedding it will get tracked all over it and spread around, and it will come off in your washing machine and clog it up, which is a pain. So what I've done is put a litter tray to catch it, and my guinea pigs have no problem hopping in there, but I did try it with Snoopy and Ollie and that didn't work. so they've got the hay in their balls. So they need to have fresh hay every day as well, because any hay that's a bit old and manky they won't eat, and yeah, and then they won't be getting the nutrients they need. Another problem with hay is if it's falling in their litter tray and then they're pooing and weeing on it, because they like to poo where they're eating, because they're not very hygienic animals, are you? They're a little bit disgusting. Who's disgusting? So they do tend to poo and wee on the hay and then eat it. So I do empty their litter box quite regularly to make sure that they aren't eating any soiled hay. So that's all about hay. The next thing you'll need is a playpen, which is really, really important for your guinea pigs, because they should be brought out of their cage every day. No matter how big their cage is, they do need to get out and run around, and it's a bit of mental stimulation for them, and it stops them getting bored. Because if you think of their cages as their bedroom, and if you were told to stay in your bedroom all day and you weren't allowed to come out, even if you had everything you needed and your bedroom was quite big, you wouldn't want to stay in there all day. So guinea pigs should be brought out every day. And for my playpen, I've just got some of the cubes, like what Snoopy's cage is made out of, and I've got 15 for their playpen, and it does make a really good size playpen. And what I'll do is put Snoopy and Ollie in it for a couple of hours and clean their cage, and then take them out and put Gizmo and Jafar in and clean their cage. So it's also really handy if you want to clean their cage and get them out of the way, because if your guinea pigs are like Gizmo, they don't help at all and they're trying to chew the fleece while you're trying to change it. So I tend to take them out while I'm spot cleaning, just because they're a bit of a pain. And that is what I use for a playpen, but you can get several other small animal playpens, and they don't have to be very high, because guinea pigs can't jump very well and they can't climb at all, so they don't have to be very high, which is why guinea pig cages don't need lids. But there are several other small animal playpens you can use, but you just have to be aware that they might not be spacious enough, especially if you've got 2 guinea pigs. They do need quite a lot of space, so I'd recommend getting some of these grids and just cable tying them together, or I think they're called zip ties in America, just like that, just to hold them together. And it does fold away really small. I've just got mine here behind the door, so it's out of the way and it doesn't take up any room, which I love. You will also need some grooming supplies and some emergency supplies I like to keep just in case anything goes wrong. The grooming supplies are quite simple. I've just got some beaver, guinea pig and rabbit shampoo, and you need to make sure that the shampoo you use for your guinea pigs is designed for small animals, because human shampoo can irritate their skin and cause some nasty skin problems. So I would definitely recommend using guinea pig shampoos, and they're not very expensive. The next thing I use, especially with boars, is Wolfega, and that is to get rid of the grease on their grease gland. And if you want to know more about that, I've done a video on bathing Snoopy, so check that out. Another thing you do need to have is nail clippers, and I do use special guinea pig and rabbit nail clippers, but some people do use human ones, but I personally like using the right product just in case anything was to go wrong. But I'm not going to say it's wrong to use human nail clippers, I'm sure you can make up your own mind. But these are the ones I use, and I think they're by Board and Breaker. But I find those to be really good, and you do need to cut your guinea pig's nails every so often, and how often depends on your guinea pigs. But if you have real problems with it, I would recommend just taking them to the vet, and it shouldn't be too expensive for them to cut their nails. But I would also recommend, if you're going to do it yourself, have someone to help, say one person holds a guinea pig and the other one cuts their nails, something like that, and try and make it as less and try and make it as least stressful for your guinea pigs as possible. But those are the ones I use and I would recommend them, but I've had these for a very long time and I haven't used any others, so I can't compare it to any others. And I also have a brush for each set of guinea pigs, only because I don't want to rub the other set of guinea pig smells on them, because I don't think that would be very enjoyable for them. And this one is a Trixie brush, and this one is a Pets at Home puppy brush, which I've actually put little sparkly bits for Snoopy and Ollie, which I thought was quite funny. But this one is a soft puppy brush, and there are different types of brushes. I prefer using these, but I do have some other ones somewhere, but I don't know where I put them. No, I don't know where I put them. But you can use coarser brushes, and depending on your guinea pig's fur type as well, you'll need different brushes. But these are my favourites just because they're quite soft and they make it quite relaxing for the guinea pig. I don't want to use anything hard just in case they've got a tangle and I pull it too hard, and then they won't let me brush them ever again. Will you? Oh, he doesn't want to be stroked. So that's what I use for basic grooming supplies. I also have a box of things just in case anything goes wrong. And this I have, so if I'm cutting the guinea pig's nails and I cut their nails a bit too short and I cut through the quick, which is, in your guinea pig's nails, they should have, it'll be easier to see with clear nails, you can't really see with black nails, but there should be a little vein running through the inside, which is a vein and has blood running through. So if you cut that, your guinea pig's nails will bleed and it will be quite sore for them. So I have that just in case I cut through the quick. Then I can put that on and it should stop it bleeding and getting infected. And I just have that just in case. I haven't needed it so far, thank goodness, because I think I'd feel really bad if I cut through their nail too short. But my theory with cutting guinea pig's nails is little and often. If you're really afraid to cut their nails, then if you just do a teeny tiny bit fairly often, then the nails will get shorter and the quick will also reduce with the nails. So as the nails get shorter, so will the quick, and then it should shorten. I have also got some Beaver anti-parasite spot on, and this is for if I bring a new guinea pig home, then I like to treat all of them for mites just in case, and it doesn't hurt them. I'll just show you what they look like. They're just these little pipettes and you snap off the top and put a little dab on the back of their neck, and I like to treat all of them in one go, and that's pretty much what that's for. And then also in here I've got lots of syringes. This is just in case my animals stop eating, or if they stop drinking, or Ollie had to take some medicine before and you have to give it to them in a syringe through their mouth, so you just have to squirt it in their mouth. And I got some more just in case, because I think they're good to have in case your animals stop drinking and you have to feed them some water. So I like to keep them just in case, because I wouldn't want to be running out at the last minute and getting some. So that's why I've got them. You can also use things like these in between baths if your guinea pigs do get really messy. You can find grooming wipes which you can just wipe them down with, but I haven't really found these to be very good, because I think these were about £3 or something. They were a lot of money, and to be honest, if my animals get really messy then I just give them a bath, and they do need to have baths every so often, so I wouldn't really recommend these, but if you want to then you can. Another thing you will need is a pet carrier. Now this is just a cat one, I can't really show you very well because I've sort of wedged it in under there because I've never had to use it, so at the moment it's just got my Christmas decorations in to keep them out of the way, but it wouldn't take long to empty them out. But I'm not going to do that now because I just sorted out their organisation and it'd be a shame to pull it all out again. But you will know what these will look like, and that's just in case you need to take them to the vets or anything like that. It's not really a necessity because you could always use a cardboard box or something with some hay in the bottom, as long as it had air holes, obviously. But I think I would recommend that was a good thing to have, because you never know when you're going to have to go to the vets, and even if you never use it, it would be a good thing to have. The next thing that you'll get very familiar with if you own guinea pigs is cleaning supplies. Now mine are really basic. You can buy hutch cleaners and things like that, but they can get quite expensive, so I just use a vinegar and water solution. Also, if you do buy a cleaner, please don't just use disinfectant because it can be very harmful to your pets. Please make sure it's pet safe. So I just use this really cheap vinegar. It was 2 for 65p, and I've watered it down in this Wilkinson spray bottle, which cost me 55p. I also use these big rolls of kitchen towels, and that only cost me £1, so you don't need to have expensive cleaning supplies. This is all I really use on a day-to-day basis. And then you will need a dustpan and brush. It doesn't matter what type. Here's one that's quite small and folds away easily, and this is one I treated myself to because I do spend a lot of time sweeping up, so I treated myself to a nice pretty floral one. But it doesn't really matter what type, and that's most of my cleaning supplies. You don't need much and it doesn't have to be expensive. And the last thing is treats, but this isn't a necessity, so I'm not going to go into much information about treats. I think I'll do a separate video on it because this video is already going to be quite long, so sorry about that. But treats are optional. You don't have to feed your guinea pigs treats. In fact, it's probably better that you don't feed them too many shop-bought treats because they can be very fattening and unhealthy. Things like locust beans I've found to be fine, and dried apple and dried fruit, I find to be fine, but I will go into more detail about treats on another date. But if you are looking to feed your guinea pigs some treats, I would probably recommend feeding them fruit above anything, although not very often because it's very sugary, which can make them fat and it's also bad for their teeth. But if you do want to feed them treats, then little and often, no, not little and often, then little and occasionally. It's better not to feed your guinea pigs treats really, but I can't resist because they are so cute. So I do feed them some treats, but I'll give them sort of one treat a week, and most of the treats I choose are very healthy because I don't like feeding them anything too sugary. I'm not too sure about American treats because I do live over here, so I can't get many, but I have heard that Oxbow's Simple Rewards treats are really good, and that everyone I've seen put them in a video has said their guinea pigs really like them. But that is it for today, I think, and I'll do another video on treats another day. I've also got to update you with the hamster cage tours. So thank you for watching, guys. I hope this has been kind of informative and useful for you if you're thinking about getting a guinea pig. And thank you for watching. Please comment, rate and subscribe, and let me know if you've got any requests and I'll try and fit them in. But I have been very busy recently, so sorry for not making as many videos as I'd like to. But I'll leave you with Gizmo drinking in a silly way. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye! Also, I thought I'd just say, when you first get a guinea pig home, I know it's very tempting to get them straight out and play with them, but you do need to leave them to settle into their environment because they will be really scared and they'll probably just want to be left alone, and you will need to slowly win over their trust. And I would recommend hand feeding them veggies every day, and eventually they will learn to trust you. But it will be a very long process, and it's taken me a long time to get my boys to this point. So don't expect anything to happen overnight, and don't be disappointed, just keep trying.